Hey everybody, watch this review here with a look at the Marvel Legends Series 6 Wolverine. He stands a 5.75 inches tall. Here he is next to Face-Off Sabretooth, who stands 7 inches, and the even larger Sasquatch, who stands a whopping 8 inches. So you know it really highlights the fact that Wolverine is in fact a short character. Just the one thing, he's not as short as the first appearance Wolverine. Let me try pulling both out, and then it's just a little bit shorter. Whoops. At any rate, so yeah, I actually got all 4 of them loose in a bundle. Pretty great price, actually. Originally it was the Sabretooth that caught my eye, but I'd wanted this Wolverine for a little bit just because, you know, this is my favorite costume for the character. Originally I was holding off on buying another Wolverine, though, just because the first appearance Wolverine, which actually came with a Sentinel that I bought, had really grown on me, but I mean, it's something that I was planning on doing at some point, and better now than later, you know? Wolverine, of course, is a pretty great looking figure, but I probably don't need to tell you that. I'm sure you've all heard this before. My only real problems with the figure are the leg joints. I just don't like how the leg swings out into the side, although it's not a huge issue. And I just really wish he would have had a peg hole in the back. Now, when I said this is the Series 6, I'm like 95% sure. Whenever I buy something loose, I'm never 100% sure, but I believe this is the only one that's sort of out there that's got this level of articulation, so pretty sure. In terms of paint, it's mostly solid tones, like it's a solid brown here, then you've got some paint variation up here on the top, where it's like a darker layer there. But the pants and so forth, and the boots even, don't really have any paint variation. You've got some nice patterning on the arms for the hair. A lot nicer than the first appearance here, where it's just like little cheap black lines, but I mean, I do like the first appearance's paint variation on the actual costume a bit more. In terms of articulation, by the way, check out that head sculpt. It's a very nice head sculpt. In terms of articulation, he has a floating shoulder, which is pretty cool, but the arm doesn't sort of link in properly, so just, well, I mean, it's just like it takes a lot of effort to move the arm, which is kind of a downer, but the floating shoulder is just essential for a lot of these poses where he's like leaping at somebody or anything. But in terms of articulation, we have a articulate fingers here, but it's one grouping. We have a wrist that rotates only, much like the X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is kind of cheesy, but eh. Double jointed elbow. The shoulder, as mentioned, and then the floating shoulder, as well as the bicep muscle. Head will go up, which is essential, especially when you have a leaping figure. Goes down a considerable amount too, and will rotate 360 degrees, but oh shoot, I thought it did, but I guess it doesn't. Whoops. Ab/diaphragm joint. I mean, it's more of a torso actually, because the whole thing rotates. It can go 360. The waist also can go 360. So you can get some funky poses out of that. Leg/hips a little. Well, I mean, it does do what it's supposed to, but it just takes a lot of effort for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's just the condition the figure's in. And of course, this can rotate if put your nail on the joint, but I don't want to do that. Double jointed at knee. And the calf spins over here. And you have a articulate ankle going side to side, forward back, and a toe joint. All in all, it's a pretty neat figure. It's definitely got a pretty cool looking sculpt. But it's just got little minor issues that sort of irk me. Like, for one thing, I don't know, it just looks like his thighs up here are just so much longer than the calf muscle, but I mean, it's really a minor thing. I mean, which doesn't really detract from an otherwise great figure. So yeah, here's the size comparison again. As mentioned, I just really wish that this one had a peg in his back so we could fit in with those stands for the jumping poses. Here he is next to first appearance Spider-Man. As you can see, Spider-Man's just a little bit taller than him, as long as you don't include the cowl there. And also for fun, let's bring in Wolverine's little brother, ta-da! Aka the X-Men Origins comic classic brown and tan costume, which by the way is my favorite for the 3 3/4 line Wolverines. As you can see, the quality in this is just considerably better because of the size. Although one thing is like kind of I'm noticing now is his head looks a little bit big in proportion to his body, but I mean, otherwise, it's a fantastic figure. I can see why so many people like this one. It's probably must-own if you're a Wolverine fan, or if you have to have, like, one Wolverine for your collection or something. Of course, the other alternative would be the Red Hulk line Wolverine, which supposedly uses this exact same sculpt and then is in the traditional colors, as well as having a black variant. I haven't actually seen that Wolverine in person, though. I'm just taking people at their word for this one. So yeah, just totally great figure that looks even better in person. And I'm like not BSing or anything either. I know I sound like kind of taciturn and stuff while I'm saying all this, but I do mean it, and it's just not a ton of enthusiasm in my voice, but I don't know, a little tired maybe. I mean, I did the Power Girl review right before this one, and then like after I'd finished, I realized sometime later to go back there and correct a whole bunch of stuff, that just took a tremendous amount of energy out of me, so. But yeah, definitely a great figure. Do recommend, and well, until next time, folks.